Okay, boys and girls, you are watching Old Man Yells at Cloud for my Patreon Blue Powder Monkeys, and I'm just going to be hanging out working on some icons for an RPG, retro 70s science fiction kind of stuff. I've worked on these before, so shouldn't be a big surprise. There we go. All right. Had to mute. I'm going to try to do, I'm going to be all multitasking and try to stream and record at the same time. So you may be watching a recording. You probably are watching a recording because definitely nobody is watching me stream. Anyway. All right. So these are, I had done a bunch of icons in the past, and now I started doing tag icons, but that made me sort of redo some of the stuff that I had already done, which is a thing that happens. I'm going to find my tag list here. I also kind of want to keep an eye on my stream in case anything exciting happens, like somebody shows up to flip me some shit or whatnot. Let's see here. All right, so I basically did, let's catch everybody up here. I did my kind of basic layout thing. I'm going to export these as little icons that'll end up in Foundry Virtual Tabletop, or I may use them for like a PDF version or something. So I have some corporate tags. You can see the work off to the side here. And this is a science fiction dystopian universe. So basically the world is controlled by 7 corporations. Not as dystopian as it used to be, I'll tell you that. So we've basically got, let's see here, energy, food, housing, leisure, robotics, is that right? Yep. Space, little Jupiter stripes here, and transport, which is kind of a modified, kind of looks like a car icon, kind of doesn't. Then we went into sectors because everything happens in one of 4 sectors, which is civilian or citizen sector, I guess, geopolitical, infrastructure, and technology sector. And then I created these little ones here to insert into other icons, basically. If they're part of that world, they may get like a little doodad here. And then these are the careers that are in the game. There's advocate, which is kind of a lawyerly, talky type, secret agent or agent, athlete, blue collar, just kind of the workaday people, doctorate, which obviously kind of, or doesn't, I don't know if it's obvious, but it's sort of a medical based one, but you can get other doctorates and stuff in it as well. Maker, military, politician, scout, technician, and white collar, which is the corporate world. And so because there's 7 corporations, I have these 7 little doodads up here. This one's a little more abstract. And then this one here is reprobate, which can be anybody that works sort of barely inside the law or barely outside the law. So it could be kind of bad guyish, it could be private eye-ish, that kind of thing. I originally had this little icon. I was using a little spy versus spy guy here and a little thing of communications that kind of spelled out lie because they're deceptive and that kind of thing. But it feels a little too much like secret agent, and we already have an agent. So I'd been kind of racking my brain on what to do exactly. And what we're going to end up doing, I believe, I found a little thing here. Yeah, we're going to do basically kind of a private detective / law enforcement / badge. And we're going to, that totally looks off center to me, but I don't think it is. I think it's just I think it's the weight of these things, basically. So, like, visually, you'd honestly probably want it right there, though that sort of makes it top heavy. So that looks a little better. It's interesting how slightly off that is, but how it looks better to me. There we go. Okay, so let's grab this thing, drag it over here, click on that so that it knows it's on this artboard, and we align it. There we go. I don't have a little mouse, or I haven't set up, I guess, a little mouse pointery thing or whatever, so that's on me. All right, so then there's a couple different ways. I need to make more of a sheriff's badge, which I could use a star, but sheriff badge stuff is usually 6-pointed. So, ooh, that's not great. Not great at all. So I do this, and then I'd have to come in here. This will round it, which I don't want. And this, that will extend those. Oh, we're getting closer. And no, that rounds those. Oh, I see. And then I can do this. So this isn't bad, right? But it's not exact as far as the way the triangles are interacting. So that's probably a miss there. I think what I'll do instead is, whoops, still use the star tool. It's interesting, the star tool basically adds these little points in the middle, which I guess are good for some things. I don't use them hardly at all, though. So we'll do that. Oop, there we go. Shrink this down. Do that. Oh, come on. Is it this way? Ugh. That's not going to work either. Let's see. Oh, they're both turned at kind of a 45. There we go. They're not turned anywhere near a 45. All right, this just became more complicated. So I could try to figure out the degrees of that, but we're going to go back to this guy here. And then we're just going to try to do some alignment stuff. So this should be fun. I could leave this blank, actually, and the stroke itself would just sort of take care of itself. But I need to want to be able to see it. All right, so we do that. Oh, it is actually pretty close. Slightly off. That was Control Y. Okay, so now it's even that way, vertically. So we can move this out of the way. And now, create a star, or a square. All right, and well, let's center this thing up. There we go. We'll zap it to these corners, because those, I don't think theoretically should change. And we'll do that, and you can see it's just like slightly off here. The problem with that is we don't have our controls. We still have controls? We do. Okay, so, oh no. This is going to be a whole process. How can I do this? Points. Points. Okay, cool. All right, so let's not worry about this as much. Let's grab that. Cool. All right, and then let's grab this one. Cool. Back to the star. When you have the regular thing here, you can kind of grab anything, kind of anywhere you want to grab it. But when you've got the doodad here this way, then you have to click on the line there like that. All right, and we'll grab that. All right, so that's not perfect. It's pretty close. Oops, I do not want that. This. I wonder if I can. I'm trying to figure out if I can double click on this thing. Nope. And open up a little menu. Sometimes you can open up a sub menu for stuff. So you cannot in this case, it looks like. All right, so those are lined up. Very fiddly, but I want to get this thing set. Okay, that looks close enough. They are going to be like 400 by 400 pixels, so it's not like they're going to be. All right, let's see here. That is 225, so let's try that first. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, okay, it's going to be asymmetrical. So let's do that. This should be 350. Yep. All right, cool. So that is not bad at all. I like that. It does make it look a little more law enforcement-y than reprobate indicates, but all right. I'm trying to, if there's icons that I'm going to use other places, I'm trying to make them the same size, right? So I'm going in, I could make a new dot, but if I use that dot, then the stuff looks like it's a little more family-oriented, as in the same family, not like Guardians of the Galaxy found family or whatever. There we go. Ooh, that's still not quite on. Why that's not telling me. I don't know why smart guides are so finicky sometimes. Those ones work pretty well. Should have put this at the top, honestly. Play will be smarter. Oop, selection, okay, good. And there. That's how to do alignment stuff. Midpoint there, okay. Let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty dope. It does definitely look law enforcement. So I don't know if there's anything I can do to make it feel like it's a little more reprobate-y and less like it's the sheriff, because it kind of just looks like the sheriff now, doesn't it? Oops. All right, so we're going to go copy. Let's open up these layers. There we go. Oh, I do have it selected already. Swatch. Bonk. Nope. Bonk. Well, that doesn't really do anything. Alright. I need a slightly darker shade. Like something like that. It doesn't do anything either. I may end up just holding off on this for a little while, as opposed to kind of trying to figure out how to do the thing. Let's see. Let me check my reference for private eye. If that's interesting. I didn't know that was a dark green. Thought it was a black. That's a black. That. Okay, that's a little black badgy. I don't mind that at all, actually. Yeah, all right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. All right, so now we go back to our list here, and those were careers. And then we get into generic tags, because the main part of the work is going to be these skills, which one or two of you might have seen me working on, but there is a bunch of these things. And I'll go back through and sort of redo some of them now that I've sort of, I'm working from top down now, so like these are the main icons, and then skills become like the most derivative part of the icons. So let's do this. You can drag layers down to that plus. I'll show you. You can grab that and do this so that the color matches, but it also, of course, copies everything. So I do want the color to match. I want them a little color coded. So let's do that. Tag. There we go. We got a little echo again. Mark. Okay. All right. So, and then I'll just come in here, click off to the side in order not to edit it. Double click off to the side. And I think that's ochre, I want to say. Here we go. Yeah, now the color matches on it. So now I can turn these ones off, and then I can just start from scratch. So this should be exciting. All right. Now the first one is academic. That is kind of doctorate-y. That is definitely academic. List over here somewhere. Citizen, definitely citizen. So it's possible. I'll use that. And it's possible I want to use this. Nope. How about that? There we go. All right, so that might be my base. But academic is also obviously college-y based, as in colleges, which I of course misspelled in my Google search, so I got collage probably. I don't know. So the little laurel leaves are pretty popular. The little banner is a little popular. Animal symbols, of course, at least for sports stuff, letter stuff, of course. Let's grab that. that's this process basically. Ah, dang it. A lot of copying and pasting. All right. So that's not bad. Is there I kind of want a fat circle, but I don't have a fat circle. Oh, I do have a fat circle. And is it already there? No, because I grabbed the little one. There we go. Let's grab the big one here. Every time. Illustrator, please. All right. Let's do this. Kind of a combo match here. And I do kind of like, I like the laurel leaf idea, but that is going to be a bunch of work. Though, you know, that's what we're here for. And there's also just kind of the generic banner of things. Which isn't bad either. I like the laurel leaf idea though, honestly. It's going to be more work. But that is, again, what we're here for. All right. Okay, cool. So let's go. All right, we do that. So laurel leaves or laurels, I guess, are kind of a pain in the ass to look good. I could do actually that's not normal. I'm going to cheat this a little bit. That's basically what I just had, only slightly with the little points on there. Let's be a little more creative than that. Okay. I could just draw the thing too, though even though the program is called Adobe Illustrator, it's not necessarily the best for illustrating. It's not horrible, actually. That's pretty good. All right, so let's join those. Control J. Highlight, Control J. Let's make it that. Let's get rid of this one. The tricky bit is getting them to all kind of like rotate along a fucking curved axis here. Yeah, the attachment point this way, this way. This might almost be easier to do by hand. In theory, all right. don't remember how to do spines. It's a pretty good one, though. So let's see if this works. I'm going to look it up. Okay, so create a blend, create a spine, then blend, repeat. Okay, so that's pretty easy actually. So let's do this. Did that work? Obviously it did not. Obviously it went all awry. So let's try it again. Right, dunk and dunk. It's not horrible. Oh yeah, that is pretty good. I like that. And then you can come in here and mess with the points a little bit. I keep hitting something that makes this Twitch stream unmute, so that's interesting. I'll have to figure out what that hotkey is. All right. Object transform. Everything should have a reflect. I think only Illustrator does for some reason. I don't think Photoshop has it. Seven. I'm so tired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then there we go. Okay. I would consider that a reasonable success, though it feels like it needs something up here. Not even that little thing is going to work. Maybe the little circle is not going to work. Medical dot, maybe. That was control right bracket to make it pop up on top. Whoosh. It's pretty close. It's close enough. I could also extend this direction by sort of pulling on the spine and then adding stuff in there, but I don't mind that as much. Just for fun, though, always push things kind of past where you think they should go. Because you can always just erase things. All right. Where is... oh. Closed it up. There we go. Never recreate something you can copy and flip. Faux show. That's probably good. Okay. Now, in theory, there'd be like a little piece this way, or does it be that way? Yeah. Well, in theory, this would be, but like here, this would have an outline on it. So you're kind of trying to do a representational sort of thing, right? As long as it reads like the thing you want. You do something like that, and then do a little line this way. But that may work. All right, so let's group that. Let's bring this over here. Saw that coming. Center it. Now, this isn't a democracy, but I do like that. Actually, I may not even need that. Kind of need something on the top. Yeah. Okay, cool. One down. Dun dun dun. One down and 24. And a lot of these are super abstract. Like the next one I should work on alphabetically is application, which is kind of a form of research and whatnot. And that's going to be some thinking. Then there's biology. I could do biology, I bet. I bet that would be okay. Oh, oops, I got to mark off what I've done here. Here we go. Academic. Okay, so now biology, which will go here, that'll be a little easier because we have a biology skill. Ooh, where is biology? Science? Yes, all right, and it's this one, I believe. So let's grab that. Now is where I come to a decision about skills versus tags, if they match, basically. They should match more or less, but also be distinctly a different thing. So this is the science skill. That's the base science skill. And then there's, I don't know, agriculture probably. I think that's applied science and astronomy, bioengineering, bioengineering, biology. So let's just copy this. And for the tag, oh, where did that go? Oh, over here. So for the tag, it's like, all right, so this is the biology science skill. What is the biology tag? And I think we're going to just use this larger circle instead, which should be 350, right? Yep. So we're going to do that. And then we are going to go ahead and grab this biology doodad. And color scheme wise, we're still sort of working with the careers that have the closer two-tone. Sectors may not. We'll see what happens. But the base sectors are the dark green. And then the corporations are light green. Interesting. I may change that actually. Make those dark green as well. And then the skills can be the thing that have the light green tag on it. That seems like a thing that will already work. So we'll do this. I'll do that. Oop. that. Biology. 2. And before I forget or get distracted, which I'm very good at, distracting myself. Okay. And these all should be monocolor, right? Yep. Yep. I think I wanted to make these how they could sort of also be inserted into other things, but they should be, if I do that, they should have 2 versions like those other ones that you saw, the sector tags. Like I could do a big version and then I could do a little version. I think that's better. So let's blow these up as well while we're here. Oh, that is perfectly square. Nice. 350. That is large and in charge. This one is off slightly. Oh, what happened there? We're only 1 pixel off here. Huh. Interesting. Less than a pixel. There we go. Okay, cool. And just make sure that's centered. Oh, and there I go typing it again, even though I've got it. There I go forgetting to set the thing there. Control V, done. Transform, Control V, done. They look a little weirder, larger. Oh, that's not going to work. So let's do that. Done. And why isn't that 350, I wonder? Let's come back to that. I think I wanted it to be slightly, like this one isn't going to be symmetrical either. There we go. Yeah, I think I wanted this one to, when it's tall, it looks like, you know, a hotel from fucking Monopoly or whatever. There we go. Okay, cool. Back to the tag. All right, so I'm going to leave this here in case I need it for something else. I don't know what else I need it for, but whatever. All right, and now the next one, because again, we're skipping application for now. So the next one is civilian, which is different than citizen. Yeah. So I have a citizen infrastructure. And I have a blue collar career. So if I was to just do super cheap stuff, oh, I didn't do the fat circle here, did I? That's definitely not the fat circle. Let's see what the fat circle looks like. Yeah, I'm okay with that. All right, and then let's drag this over into here. Okay, that's not bad. And again, we had this little thing that we don't need. Citizen sector, civilian. Citizen and civilian are pretty close to each other. Citizen, civilian. Civilian is meant to be the lesser form. Citizens in this dystopian world have the right to vote and own property and all the rest of that. So that is citizen. This is civilian. The tag is civilian, so I think this is going to work. And to just try it out, is there a reason we can't do that? Let's see what 250 looks like. Oh, actually, 225 is a size I use for a lot of different things. Yeah. All right, so that is the civilian tag for now. All right, cool. That's probably enough for now, honestly. I'm going to keep working for a few more minutes, but that's what happens sometimes. I'm just doing the same sort of thing, and you're watching the creative process. It's super exciting, I know. All right. Sometimes I tell stories, but I wasn't storytelling as much today. The next one I think I'm going to do is there's a corporate, or there's a colony and then a corporate. And the corporate will definitely be pulled off of white collar. So let's just go ahead for now. Oh, come on, dude. Do that. And then all the corporate, there's no generic corporate stuff right now. Corporation is also technically civilian. All right, so let's do this. So that just looks like that just looks like the fat circle. With this, let's group that. Let's change the color. Let's go to, oh, look at that. Nonsense. 5, 225. Let's lock that before I forget. All right, so that now becomes corporate. All right, I did 4. All right, thanks for watching, I guess, and supporting our Patreon if you do that, and have a good night.